Good afternoon and namaskar, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of J&K, Manoj Sinha ji, Revenue Secretary Tarun Bajaj, Chairman CBDT Mahapatra ji, Chairman CDIC Ajay Kumar ji, Sri Krishna ji, and all the officers from J&K Income Tax and Customs and Indirect Tax, and also the invited audience, the media. I'm very grateful that we are all present together today in the context of or in connection with the opening of the Income Tax Bhavan. Of course, this building has its own trajectory of how it came to be. Although the presence of the CBDT is in J&K from 54, as was referred to by many of the speakers, it has had a very slow, although steady, all right, but slow progress in coming to its full form. Today, the occasion makes me feel very glad, and I first begin with the great sense of appreciation for the peace-loving people of J&K who have steadily kept their calm but grew along, and today they see the completion of this project, the dedication of this project for public service. And that is one of the reasons why I would play up not so much the tax collection, not so much what happens in direct taxation, but the point being that service to the taxpayer, service to people who would want to understand how things work. So there is also a Seva Kendra, I understand, attached to this building. It is that which I would play more importance on, because that's what is going to bring in the people's contact. Tell people about what it is all about, what happens to the money, whatever sum, big, small, which is collected, which goes to the development of this region. And therefore, the point to engage with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And why should it be not rest of the country here, but everywhere? That should have been the accent, and that should continue to be the accent of both the boards under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, because he is, even as a Chief Minister and now as a Prime Minister, places great importance that it is only through development that people, the differences between income, the income disparity can be bridged. Unless that kind of a spread is given for development, that kind of resources are shared for every such developmental activity, the disparity between haves and have-nots will never ever get bridged. And for a state like Jammu and Kashmir, development is something which has been in the wings for a long time. It has never happened. You'd see some development here and there, but the consistent pace at which infrastructure was required, basic materials which is important for living and also for building economy, such as electricity. I was talking with the governor even as we were coming here. The capacity, the potential capacity that J&K has is about 20,000 megawatts. Imagine what a state which can produce that kind of power can do for itself and for using it as a product. If you as J&K are able to produce that much, you're able to sell it to the rest of the country, and also with that money be able to do a lot more for our own people. However, that capacity has never been fully exploited, and as a result the potential exists, but the power generation not coming up over the years has denied J&K its own developmental goals. Without basic supplies of electricity for a beautiful state like this, for a potential ridden state like this, development has always been at its bare minimum. So when Prime Minister's goal or that guiding principle is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. You have all the prayas, you have all the Vishwas, but if you don't have the required endowments for it, development is not going to be achieved as much as we want. And that is where it is important now for J&K, post the abrogation of 370, to get that which has been denied to the common Kashmiri citizen, the facilities, the development, and therefore make all his aspirations come true. There is no point if it is kept like a small oligarchy of people, are holding every resource and denying the ordinary citizen. And that is where you find the ordinary citizen today, when democracy is allowed its full play, participation in electoral process. You find them happily, actively engaging in spite of calls which tell them, no, you can't. Because the people want to grow. Their aspirations are there to be realized. And that is nothing unusual for a common citizen. It is his common aspiration. Every citizen should have to be given a space. And that's what is being given post the abrogation of 370. And in that we cannot afford to have any delay. I would therefore in fact say the more active engagement that the two boards undertake, and here I would like to inform through the media and through all the invited guests, there are about 250 principal commissioners of income tax all over the country. In the northwest region alone, under which comes this area, there are about 20 principal commissioners of income tax. This shall be the 21st, and therefore all over the country this shall be the 251st principal commissioner of income tax. And for which I'm glad to hear from the director, from the chairman CBAGT, that an officer with good experience in Mumbai is now brought in here. For all the experience and for all the exposure that officer can bring to this region, I expect there will be greater information about what paperless income tax filing can be like, what settlements can be made, what kind of, for those who are already taxpayers, what kind of facilities are provided, what kind of technology-driven facilitation happens so you don't need to visit the office at all, you can do it from your home. So at this stage of India's development, for the income tax to first have, for the first time in this region, which is now upgraded to become a principal commissioner's office, a permanent owned building. Of course, we know the tragedy of 2005 when the building could not survive an attack. But I'm grateful to the people of J&K for today enabling a permanent owned building for the income tax, which I'm very honored to come and serve here to inaugurate and be with you all in this context. It is now for all of us to work together to serve the people of Kashmir, to make sure that development reaches them. The importance of collecting legitimate tax is understood, and also a transparent process through which we can explain how that money gets spent. On the details of how much is collected, what is spent, I will definitely distribute both in English and Hindi through the media and also through the visitors who have come here, the details of all that is getting spent. But one data which the Honorable Lieutenant Governor started about, I would like to share on the J&K development funds which are being given post the abrogation of 370. Sorry, everyone, because I'll probably list out the kind of projects which got completed under PMDP, and that itself will probably expand on how much has been spent. before I read out those, tell you that the concessional rates of GST apply for quite a few of those items which are unique to J&K. Carved wood products, artware, decorative articles of wood barrel, and so on have a favorable GST rate. Wooden frames for painting, photographs, mirrors, etc. also have a favorable rate. Statues and ornaments of wood, marquetry inlaid, and jewelry box, wooden lathe, lacquer work, again given discounted rates. Articles of paper mache do also have a discounted rate of GST. Handmade carpets and other handmade textile floor coverings also get a concessional rate. Hand paintings, drawings and pastels, including Basholi paintings, also get a good rate under GST. Now, the projects which have been completed by the Pradhan Mantri Development Program which has been given to J&K are about 21. It's important that we list it out so you know the kind of income generating activities which are happening. The Batote Kishtawar Simtan Pass Road has been completed under the PMDP. Jammu Udhampur Road again completed under PMDP. Chenani Nashri Tunnel completed. Interest subvention scheme implemented. EAP, externally aided projects, J&K USDIP also undertaken. Counterpart funding EAP also happening. Assistance for damaged houses also given under PMDP. POK and CHAMB DPs, displaced people's assistance which have been extended, have also been completed under the PMDP. Jammu migrants have also been completed. Remuneration for the SPOs also undertaken. JNNURM projects also undertaken and completed. Srinagar Banihal Road, Kazigund Banihal Tunnel, permanent restoration for some parts, 5 IRP battalions, Jhelum Phase 1, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, solar off-grid systems, BB Cant, Kalai Bridge, and some more in that category. And the SGR Uri LOC road completed, and PMRP and TD network work have also been completed. So, in a way, what I wanted to underline is 40,000 people were killed due to terrorism over the years. A land which is otherwise very peaceful, beautiful, had spent so many years in this very heart-crushing, tragic phase of development. Now, post-abrogation of 370, the Delimitation Commission has also been constituted. DDC polls have shown that the people are looking forward for aspirational meeting of their dreams, and therefore, I would want to tell you in the context of dedicating this building, LG Honorable Manoj Sinha was right in saying the building dedication is only a nimitta, it is only a guise, it is only in that bahana that I am doing this. But the larger issue is reaching out to every person in Jammu and Kashmir, giving his due or her due to the person. The development which has been denied for the last 70 years shall now be reaching every citizen of the state. And that is where we are here. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I hope the officials here, both of the CBDT and the CBIC, will do their maximum best to reach out to the people and help them to understand how best services can be rendered by you. That will be a very important step in bringing development to people of J&K. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.